Chances are, all I wear is silly green. Too much, too little, too late to ever try again.
I come from San Francisco. It's not unusual to be gay in San Francisco.
For many years, people wondered about Johnny Mathis's love life. Now, after many rumors, Johnny Mathis has finally spoken the truth. He admitted that he had a deep love for someone special.
She sent me to a place called Havre de Grace in Maryland. I was there with a bunch of Jesuit priests.
Fans are shocked and curious. Who was this person? Why did he keep it secret for so long? And what does this mean for his past and personal life? Let's find out.
My dad was my best pal, and he also sang, and that's why I sing.
Johnny Mathis was born in Gilmer, Texas. He was one of 7 children. His parents, Clem Mathis and Mildred Boyd, were cooks. Johnny's father was a singer and pianist.
He was my pal. I could tell him anything, and I did. I told him everything.
He saw that Johnny had a gift for music. Wanting to help his son, he bought an old piano for $25. Johnny started learning music from his father. His parents supported him and even helped run his fan club. The first song Johnny learned to sing was My Blue Heaven. He loved performing and sang for guests at home, in school, and at church.
My dad had a wonderful, wonderful way about accepting things as they are.
At 13, Johnny met voice teacher Connie Cox. She agreed to teach him in exchange for housework. Johnny trained with her for 6 years.
Connie was not only kind to me and gave me voice lessons for free of charge, but she also did it with several other entertainers.
He learned how to control his voice, sing in different styles, and perform with confidence. While in high school, he joined a band started by his friend Merle Saunders. This was Johnny's first real chance to sing in front of an audience. Later in life, he thanked Merle for giving him that opportunity. One day, Johnny was singing at a small jazz club in San Francisco. A woman named Helen Noga, who helped manage the club, heard him sing. She was so impressed that she became his music manager. She found him a job singing on weekends at another club. Helen believed in Johnny's talent and worked hard to get him noticed. She found out that a big music producer from Columbia Records, George Avakian, was visiting San Francisco. She kept calling him until he agreed to come listen to Johnny. When George heard Johnny sing, he was amazed. He immediately sent a message to his company saying, "I found a young singer who could be a big star." And his father gave him advice. He should focus on music. He had a smooth voice and sang love songs that people adored. But back then, being gay was not accepted by many.
In 1982, this was famous, you told Us magazine, this was the quote, "Homosexuality is a way of life that I've grown accustomed to," and then that statement was retracted.
People expected celebrities to keep their personal lives private, especially when it came to being gay. If a famous person admitted they were gay, it could ruin their career. For many years, people wondered about Johnny Mathis's love life. He never talked much about who he was dating. His songs were about love, but he never said if they were about a man or a woman. This made some people curious, but Mathis stayed quiet. He focused on his music and avoided talking about his personal life. However, there was a moment when he spoke about it. In an interview, Mathis said that being gay was something he was used to.
I come from San Francisco. It's not unusual to be gay in San Francisco.
He did not make a big announcement, but those words were enough to cause trouble. Some people became angry, especially in certain parts of the country. He even received threats from people who hated the idea of a famous singer being gay. This made him afraid for his safety. Because of this, Mathis decided to step back from the public eye. He did fewer interviews and tried to keep a low profile. He did not want to talk about his personal life anymore.
Being different. It bothered me that it bothered people.
For many years, he stayed quiet about being gay. Later in life, he spoke about it again, but he never made it a big issue. He believed it was just a part of who he was and did not need to be the center of attention. Besides his personal struggles, Mathis also faced hard times with his home. In 2015, after returning from a concert in Ohio, he found that his house had been destroyed by a fire. He had lived there for 56 years, so losing it was heartbreaking. Despite this loss, he rebuilt his home in the same place.
Legendary singer Johnny Mathis is dealing with major damage to his beautiful home in the Hollywood Hills after a fire.
However, in 2023, heavy storms caused a landslide near his house. The ground collapsed, damaging the area around his home. A car was crushed by mud and debris, and utilities were cut off. This left Mathis unable to return to his house right away. But that wasn't the only tragedy he passed through.
Right now, from the outside, you don't see a lot of damage, but inside it is extensive.
Johnny was once attacked in a Las Vegas hotel. The trouble started when a card dealer named Charles Walsh got angry. Walsh said Mathis had insulted his wife, Helen, who worked as a cocktail waitress. Because of this, Walsh punched Mathis. But Mathis said he never insulted her and that the attack came out of nowhere. Mathis was shocked and scared after the punch. He did not fight back. Instead, he quickly left Las Vegas. He took a flight to Los Angeles and checked into a motel. Later, he went to the home of his manager, Mrs. Helen Noga, in Beverly Hills. She refused to let reporters see him and said he was still shaken by what happened. Mrs. Noga explained that Mathis was not a violent person. He was a singer, not a fighter. She also said that he had a spinal condition, which made the attack even more dangerous. Mathis had even begged Walsh not to hit him because a single blow could seriously hurt him. Even though he was attacked, Mathis decided not to take legal action. He just wanted to forget about the whole thing. Mrs. Noga hoped the situation would be forgotten quickly. She wanted Mathis to move on and not let the incident affect his career. The shocking event left many fans surprised. Mathis was known for his soft voice and calm personality. No one expected him to be in such a situation, but in the end, he chose to walk away instead of fighting back.
One of entertainment's most legendary singers opens up about his new music and how a place in Maryland helped him to kick addiction.
Johnny struggled with addiction. Like many famous people, he faced challenges that could have ruined his career and life. He was addicted to alcohol and also had a past problem with drugs. These addictions were not easy to fight, but with the help of others, he was able to recover. At first, Johnny didn't think drinking was a big problem. He was surrounded by alcohol at parties and events. It was a normal part of the entertainment world. Everyone drank, and it seemed harmless. But over time, he started drinking more and more. What started as fun became something he needed to feel normal. He didn't realize how much it was affecting his life until it became difficult to control. He was drinking too much, and it was starting to hurt his career. He knew he had to stop, but it wasn't easy. One of Johnny's close friends was Nancy Reagan, the wife of former President Ronald Reagan. She was known for her campaign against drugs and alcohol, telling young people to just say no. She also helped Johnny see that he had a problem. One day, while they were sitting together, Johnny was drinking. Nancy gently suggested that he might have an issue with alcohol. At first, it was hard to accept, but deep down, he knew she was right. He realized he needed help to break free from his addiction.
And so she sent me to a place called Havre de Grace in Maryland. I was there with a bunch of Jesuit priests.
With Nancy Reagan's support, Johnny decided to go to a rehab center. He checked into a place called Havre de Grace in Maryland.
More than 30 years, people have been traveling here to Havre de Grace for treatment, tackling their addiction, transforming their lives.
This was a special place where people went to recover from addiction. The program helped him understand why he drank and how to stop. He spent 3 weeks there, learning about himself and his struggles. He also met other people who were facing similar battles. Talking to them made him realize he was not alone. Addiction can happen to anyone, no matter how famous or successful they are.
Finding out why I drank, how I could stop. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life.
But this was not the first time Johnny had struggled with addiction. Many years earlier, in the 1960s, he had another problem. He had lost his voice while performing at the Copacabana in New York. Someone recommended a doctor named Max Jacobson. This doctor was known for giving miracle shots to famous people, including actors and even the Kennedy family. Johnny went to see him and received these shots, which helped his voice recover quickly. But he didn't know that the shots contained strong drugs, including amphetamines. Over time, he became addicted. The drugs made him feel energetic, but they were damaging his body. Eventually, he ended up in the hospital. It was a terrible experience, but he knew he had to stop. He made the difficult decision to quit, and he was able to overcome the addiction.
I believe we can be more sensitive to the needs of our fellow man, that we can be better neighbors to each other.
In December 2022, some radio stations in the UK decided to censor a line from Johnny Mathis's Christmas song, When a Child is Born. The song was a big hit in 1976 and talked about the birth of a child bringing hope to the world. But one part of the lyrics caused a problem.
And the spirit of Christmas is a joyous reminder of our responsibilities as people.
In the song, Mathis says, "Black, white, yellow, no one knows." This means the child could be of any race, showing that race does not matter. But some people found the word yellow offensive. Because of this, at least 2 radio stations removed the line. This decision started a big debate about whether old songs should be changed to fit today's views.
Black, white, yellow, no one knows.
Many people were upset about the censorship. Some argued that the song was not racist at all. Mathis, who is a black singer, was saying that Jesus came for everyone, no matter their race. His message was about unity and peace. But some modern listeners felt that using the word yellow to describe race was outdated and offensive. Fans of the song were not happy with the changes. They felt that classic Christmas songs should not be altered. One listener even said, "Leave Christmas alone and leave Johnny Mathis alone." Others believe that removing words from old songs is unnecessary and takes away their original meaning. This situation raised a bigger question. Should we change older songs to match modern thinking? Some say yes, to avoid offending people today. Others say no, because it changes history. The debate continues, but one thing is clear. This Christmas classic will always be remembered, with or without the censored line.
Throughout most of my athletic career, I was in agony. So I was looking for an excuse to.
Helen was not a music manager, but fate had other plans. One day, a student from San Francisco State University invited his friend, a young singer named Johnny Mathis, to a jam session at the Black Hawk, a popular jazz club. When Helen heard Mathis sing, she was amazed. His voice was unlike anything she had ever heard before. Right then and there, she knew he had something special. She quickly decided to manage his career and signed him to a contract. Not long after, Johnny recorded his first album, Johnny Mathis, a new sound in popular song, under Columbia Records.
But I feel so gay in a melancholy way.
The album was a success, and it was clear that Mathis had a bright future. His career had officially begun, all thanks to that one moment at the Black Hawk. It was a special place for many music lovers, and Helen was sad when it eventually closed down. But for Mathis, that club was the place where everything started. As Mathis became more popular, bigger opportunities came his way. In June 1957, he performed on The Ed Sullivan Show, one of the most popular TV shows of that time.
The best of everything.
This appearance introduced him to an even wider audience, and his fame grew. That same year, he released his second million-selling single, Chances Are, which became a big hit.
Chances are, all I will
Then, in November, he recorded Wild is the Wind for a movie with the same name. The song was so well loved that it was nominated for an Academy Award. In March 1958, Mathis performed it at the award ceremony, making him even more famous. Just before that big moment, another major achievement came his way. He released Johnny's Greatest Hits, an album that broke records. It stayed on the Billboard charts for an incredible 490 weeks, which is almost 9.5 years. This was the longest time any album had stayed on the chart until The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd finally passed it 15 years later. The album's success proved that Mathis was not just another singer. He was a legend in the making. Mathis didn't just shine in music, he also made a mark in movies. Later in 1958, he appeared in his second film, A Certain Smile, where he performed the title song. That song was also nominated for an Academy Award. By the end of the year, Mathis was one of the highest-paid entertainers, making around $1 million a year. People called him the Velvet Voice because of his smooth and soothing singing style. As the years went on, Mathis continued to release hit songs. In 1962, he had two big successes with Gina, and What Will Mary Say?
What will my Mary say?
His success also brought him financial rewards. That same year, Ebony magazine listed him as one of the richest Black Americans. His talent and hard work had turned him into a superstar. Despite his success, things were not always easy. In 1964, Mathis had a legal battle with his former manager, Helen. He wanted to end their contract, but she fought back. After the case was settled, Mathis took control of his own career. He created his own company, John Matt Records, to handle his music and Rojan Productions for his concerts and TV appearances. His new business partner was Ray Hahn, who helped him manage his career until he passed away in 1984. Greatest Hits albums are everywhere today, but did you know that the very first Greatest Hits album came from Johnny Mathis? In 1958, his album Johnny's Greatest Hits was released, and it changed the music industry forever. Johnny Mathis was already becoming popular when his song It's Not For Me To Say became a hit.
It's not for me to say.
Around that time, he got an opportunity to tour the United Kingdom. But before he left, Columbia Records wanted him to record more songs. He was too busy to do that, so the head of the label, Mitch Miller, had an idea. Instead of making Johnny record new music, he decided to put together the singer's best singles that had already been released. He named the album Johnny's Greatest Hits. Mathis continued to make music and tour, but by the late 1970s, he was struggling to stay on the pop charts. His last major hit had been years ago, and his music was not as popular with younger listeners. He and his producer, Jack Gold, knew they had to try something new. They decided to work with a younger singer to help bring fresh energy to his music. That's when they reached out to Denise Williams, an R&B singer who was becoming popular. Mathis and Williams recorded a song together called Too Much, Too Little, Too Late.
Too much, too little, too late to ever try again.
At first, Williams didn't think the song was special. She didn't even believe it was good enough to be released. But when the song came out, it became a huge hit. It reached #1 on the charts, something Mathis had never achieved before. The success was so big that the two singers quickly recorded a whole album of duets called That's What Friends Are For. The album had another hit song, You're All I Need to Get By, which also did well on the charts. Because of his work with Denise Williams, Johnny Mathis found new success. Later, he even recorded the theme song for the popular TV show Family Ties. The song, Without Us, became one of his most well-known tunes. Sadly for Johnny, things started to change. New styles of music became popular, and young people wanted something different. The Beatles and other rock bands took over the music charts. Mathis's soft and romantic songs did not fit with this new trend. The music industry was shifting towards rock albums, and pop music was changing. This made it harder for Mathis to stay on top. Even though Mathis was not as popular as before, he never stopped making music. He continued to record albums and perform for his loyal fans. But his songs did not make it to the top of the pop charts like they once did. The rise of rock music pushed his style into the background. Younger audiences were more interested in loud guitars and energetic performances. Mathis's smooth and gentle singing was no longer the main attraction. However, he kept working, hoping for another big moment in his career. That moment finally came in the late 1970s. In 1976, Mathis had a big hit in the UK with the Christmas song When a Child is Born. It became a #1 hit and reminded people of his talent. Then, in 1978, he recorded Too Much, Too Little, Too Late with singer Denise Williams. The song was a huge success. It reached #1 on the US pop charts and was also popular in the UK and Canada. It was his biggest hit in many years. People loved the song, and it brought Mathis back into the spotlight.
Too much, too little, too late to ever try again.
After this success, Mathis recorded more duets with different singers. He sang with famous artists like Dionne Warwick, Natalie Cole, and Gladys Knight. These songs helped keep him in the public eye. He also recorded a follow-up duet with Denise Williams called You're All I Need to Get By. While it was not as big as their first hit, it still showed that Mathis was making good music. In the early 1980s, he also performed the theme song for the TV show Family Ties. His soft and emotional voice was still loved by many. Mathis never stopped performing. Even as he got older, he continued to sing for his fans. While he did not do as many concerts as before, he still performed around 50 to 60 times a year. Unlike many other singers, he always traveled with a full orchestra, giving his audience a rich and beautiful music experience. His voice remained strong, and his fans continued to support him. When it comes to his hobbies, Johnny is also a big fan of golf. He didn't start playing as a young man. Instead, he discovered the sport later in life while staying at the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas in 1965. Once he picked up a golf club, he never looked back. Golf became a big part of his life. Mathis even said, "It's the only social activity I have." Unlike many other celebrities, he never spent much time hanging out with other entertainers. Instead, he enjoys spending time with other golfers.
I started playing golf, I guess, about 9 years ago, out of boredom.
Oh, beautiful, Johnny.
Mathis is not just a casual player. He takes golf seriously and plays almost every day. He is a member of 3 golf clubs in Los Angeles and plays around 300 times a year. That is a lot of practice. Because of this, he has become a very skilled golfer.
Johnny, they say that if you'd wanted to be, you could have been a professional golfer. Is that true?
Not at all.
One of the most amazing things about Mathis's golf skills is that he has hit a hole-in-one 9 times. A hole-in-one is when a golfer hits the ball directly into the hole with just one shot. This is something many golfers dream about, but very few ever achieve. Besides golf, Mathis has another big passion: cooking. Unlike many rich and famous people who hire private chefs, Mathis loves to cook for himself. Both of his parents were cooks, and they passed their skills down to him. As a child, he watched them work and became interested in cooking. He enjoys spending hours preparing a meal. He even cooks while traveling. When he stays in hotels with kitchens, he takes full advantage of the opportunity to cook his own meals. Anyway, that is all for today. Until next time, bye.